Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're pleased to be joined by Medford resident Harold Hayes, and he has an incredible story. Harold, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
So, World War II, you were a medic in the Air Force.
Yes.
Your plane went down behind enemy lines.
Yes.
Tell us, first off, why did your plane go down?
Well, we started to fly from Catania, Sicily to Bari, Italy, which is normally a 2-hour flight. And at the time we took off, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. But very soon we began to see clouds, and the farther we went, the more clouds there were. And finally, when we got close to our destination, we couldn't even see the ground anymore. And the pilot, and we were down to within 400 feet above water level. The pilot decided he needed to find some place to see if he could land. And the storm pushed us off course, and what started out to be a 2-hour flight, 5 hours later, ended in a crash landing in German-occupied Albania.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how long were you in Albania? Were you discovered by the Germans, and how did you get out of there?
Well, we were there for a few months, and I don't think the Germans ever. Well, we know they never captured us.
That's a good thing.
And we always wondered if they knew we were there. Now, Germans in Albania were different than in the Netherlands or France or Belgium, places like that, where there were Germans all over the country. Albania is a very mountainous country, and the Germans were only in major cities. And there are very few roads, but the good roads the Germans were using to move troops from Greece into Yugoslavia and places where they were more needed.
Mm-hmm. And how did you get out of there?
Well, we did a lot of walking. I mentioned just very few roads, and I think the total number of vehicles I ever saw could be counted on the fingers of one hand. And so we walked. And there was one time when we rode in a vehicle for just a very few miles. But for the most part, we walked, and nobody knows how far we walked. But military intelligence, well, after we escaped, military intelligence made a map overlay of the major points that we had been through, and they said that the point-to-point distance was 342 miles. But they said that what they knew of the terrain we'd been in, it might have been twice that far.
Wow, incredible. All right, well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll have much more with Harold and his incredible story coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Harold Hayes. Harold, you were a medic during World War II. Your plane went down behind enemy lines, behind German Nazi enemy lines in Albania. You walked out of there several hundred miles. Where did you walk to?
Where did we walk to?
Yeah, what country did you escape to?
Oh, well, we escaped back to Italy, okay, which is our original destination, but it took us a few months to get there.
Yeah, and it's about 40 people in your group. How did you guys eat? How did you survive?
Well, there were actually 30 people on that airplane, and it was a crash landing. Now, a crash landing doesn't mean the airplane was out of control. It just means that after it was on the ground, it encountered some difficulties, and the airplane was not flyable. But let's see, what was the rest of it?
No, it's okay, yeah. And so we're talking about where the group that you guys, how did you eat, how did you survive?
There were 30 people on the airplane, and there were another 10 people that were helpers at various times. And for the most part, we were in very mountainous villages, and very small villages. And at that time, as my estimation, Albania is the most undeveloped country on the earth, inhabited by Caucasians. It was like living in medieval Europe in 1400s.
Sure, yeah, okay. And so
now food was very short supply, and we had to just walk from village to village and find a place where the people would let us spend the night and give us something to eat.
Incredible. And you said you were the only survivor at this time?
I'm the only one still living out of those 40 people.
Incredible. And your story is told in The Secret Rescue by Kate Lineberry.
There were two reasons that people wouldn't let us stay in the village. One is if the Germans ever found us there, that family and maybe the village would be annihilated. Mm-hmm. And they were also very short in food, and they just didn't have food to share. And even then, we only ate something once a day, wow, which might be a piece of cornbread.
Incredible. What a story. Harold, thank you so much for coming by. I wish we had an hour-long interview we could do with you. This is incredible. A real honor, sir. Thank you for coming by and sharing it with us.
It's been very interesting.
Thank you. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.